Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today we are looking at Centipede, a game based on the retro video game of the same name from IDW. Let's go take a look how it plays. So here we have set up for 2 players Centipede from IDW. One player will take the dwarf and the other player will take the centipede or the bugs. The dwarf has 6 dice which they roll, and I haven't even got out because I'm a rank amateur. They roll and place in the dice pool, and this is their moves. The centipede will choose which side to spawn from and then take 6 movements. Movements will go, let's say that's there, like this. They will always go across the way they were facing unless they hit a mushroom, and then they will go down and carry on in that way. So it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit this mushroom and go down and eat the next mushroom, 6. And then you simply fill in behind the way the centipede came. Like so. Then the dwarf player will take their first go. On their go they will choose one of the dice and they will do what is shown on it. In that order, they will zap, that's a symbol for zap, move and then zap in that case, move and then zap, and there is one other symbol which is refresh, a special power. So you must move the complete amount, so in any direction. If you hit the wall you stop. So let's say we did a 4 and a zap zap, so we go 1, 2, let's go the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, zap takes the mushroom out, zap takes the mushroom out, then that dice is removed. If we want to, we can take one of these other powers, which are remove a mushroom, zap, move once more and refresh your dice pool. You flip them over to show they've been used, and if on any dice that you use you have that card symbol, you can reflip them. Or any go when you don't use a special move, you may flip one back over. The centipede is different. The centipede will take 3 cards from their deck, play one of them and do what it says. So in this case the centipede would spawn a spider or add or remove a mushroom. Mushrooms can help the centipede move down the board quicker. Everything has its own movement speed, and the centipede gets faster the shorter it is. So if the dwarf player zaps it in the middle, 2 centipedes are created that are both quicker. Once there's a load of centipede pieces off the board, there is a card that allows the centipede player to spawn another centipede, and that adds 1 speed to every bug. The spiders can move diagonally down or up but not across, and they have a base of 9 movement. Fleas move down twice and they leave mushrooms behind them. Both of them will eat any mushrooms they encounter. The game will go on until the centipede is totally destroyed, or the centipede reaches the dwarf zone, or at the end of the centipede turn one of the bugs is above the dwarf. That is how you play Centipede. So Centipede is an interesting one for me. I was dreading playing it. I'd seen fairly negative reviews myself, and then I played it and I was kind of won over by the retro charm, the way the board and the pieces really do mimic the game that they are trying to. The problem, I think, in trying to mimic a fast-paced reaction game in a abstract 2-player game is that you are always going to miss the sense of speed, and that's really what Centipede misses. It's kind of a bit plodding, especially at first when the centipede doesn't have that movement, and as the dwarf you really feel quite underpowered. Again, that could be a fair reflection of the video game, but the centipede just had more options in terms of spawning things, more interesting things to do, whereas the dwarf was quite limited. He had to move the maximum space that he could and then shoot and then turn a card over, and it just got to the point where it was clear that the dwarf is going to lose, and I found that in most games. So it wasn't as bad as I was fearing, but it wasn't in terms of gameplay, it's not a great match for the Source. Well, everything else, aesthetics, really works. So a lot of thought has gone into it. It just hasn't quite pulled it off for me. So for me, the intimidation factor is a little bit higher than expected. There's some setup, there's some learning of various rules for movement, there's some clever stuff, how the Centipede can get faster and the bugs can get faster. The rules are a bit patchy. There's some things that I didn't feel were explained clearly enough for a game that is ultimately relatively simple. And it's fun. It's not that there wasn't fun there, it's just that it happened in a way I wasn't expecting, and a much more slower, sedate way, and perhaps not the required level of fun to compensate for the fiddliness of moving that Centipede and the boredom for the dwarf player of just going back and forth and shooting. So will I be adding it to my collection? Unfortunately, it's a no for Centipede for me. I have better abstracts in my collection, and I do not have nostalgia for the video game either. I found the pace and playing as a dwarf a bit too boring for me. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We will see you next time.